Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Sir David Wallace Sports Hall for the 11th and final Cup Final 2026. Appreciate all of you hanging around for this game. Two thrilling games on court number one. Earlier, the under-18 women's 4 sets for Boswells over Leeds Gorse. Multiple match points, multiple championship points, and nearly a 2.5 hour four setter. And then we've just come off a 5-set thriller as Dark Star Derbyshire take down Legends Volleyball Oldham to take home the national shield. So we've had to push first serve back, but we appreciate all of you joining us. Share this stream and let people know it's happening. And let us know where you're tuning in from as we're a few minutes away from first serve here at David Wallace Sports. So Michael Hansen-Myers, I will temporarily be joined by Jess Smith as we get ready for a matchup of two of the best junior teams going at it. Two teams with Super League experience and a rematch of last week's Dynamics Men's Super League playoff game, which Richmond Docklands took down 3-0 over Leeds Gorse to maintain their Super League status and send Leeds Gorse crashing down into Division 1. And Leeds will want their revenge today in the Under-18 Cup Final here at David Wallace Sports Hall. As Jess Smith now ready to join. And Jess, we've seen so much of this talent this year in this Under-18s final grow and develop in the Super League this year. They've obviously always prioritised the 18s to a degree, but they're going to be built for pressure moments. They've been through peaks, highs and lows, international teammates at under-20 Nev, so we know they've got a big qualifier later in the year as well. So this is going to be a heavyweight battle.
Yeah, it really is. And like you said, we've seen these teams, we've seen these players perform already this season against one another. We know that they can handle their pressure, and we know that they can come out with some amazing stuff in big moments, just like what we saw in the last match as we were covering off the men's national shield final. So I'm excited to see what we get out of these two incredible junior programs this year. And of course, for the future of volleyball, as these clubs continue their run of junior progression.
So two teams meeting at net. A lot of friendships on the middle of the net. Also between the coaching staff, super experienced coaching staff on either side. As Nick Sampson going to lead the Richmond Falcons, and of course Pete Mikowski on the Leeds Gorse.
Huge experience on that coaching staff on both sides of the net. And we know having big support staff as well is a key element for them. We know that Nelson's on the bench as well for Leeds. And of course, as always, they'll be joined by Elaine Brown, the ever-present for Leeds.
And of course, we need two officials to help run the final along with our scorers table. Our first referee up on the stand, Giordano Machi, and he'll be joined by Ignacio Diaz.
Yeah, again, great showing from the referees this weekend. We haven't actually talked about them a lot, but that's probably the best compliment we can pay them.
As we now welcome the Leeds Gorse team onto court, and they'll be led out by number 1, Max Mikowski. He'll be joined by number 2, Josh Cosgrove, who nearly forgot his name in warm-up. He's wearing someone else's warm-up top. Number 3, Emmanuel Oratoye. Number 9, Finn Chalkley-Beals. Number 11, Jack Shortling. And number 12, Abdu Gima. And then the starting libero for Leeds, number 14, I believe, Dylan Parsons. And now for Richmond, and their captain, number 22, Oliver Harrison, who's really blossomed this year. Number 3, Dan Sampson will be the starting setter for Richmond. Number 18, Max Anley. Number 48, Ryan Wartnaby. number 52, Adil Hussein, number 68, Jelani Conte, number 81, Ray Marjo. But Jess, Jelani Conte is the one we want to talk about very briefly. Burst onto the scene in January in the Super League, absolutely dominated Mallory Eagles in his first outing. Athletic, can go over any block, and he has a sizable height advantage over much of this Leeds blocking unit.
Yeah, he really does. He is not only tall, but that explosiveness that we've seen from him in the Super League, and I know we've seen it at some of the GPs across this season as well, is going to be key for this Richmond squad against this Leeds Gorse team.
Someone to look out for. Leeds defensively, their ball control has been really good. This is a team that so many people can step into the pass. They don't have much drop off, so Richmond's going to have to struggle. We're going to have to fight to put on serving pressure, try and find a way to make Leeds struggle. As the crowd still in attendance here, a lot of the Richmond and Leeds players that have won titles and been in finals early today still in attendance. As the MC, Stan and Mark, get the crowd ready. We've got two teams ready to go in the final game of the indoor season. The under-18 Men's National Cup is about ready to go. Just double checking who the captain is, with Ollie Harrison off court on middle rotation. And the under-18 Men's National Cup final underway here at Sir David Wallace Sports Hall in Richmond. Don't connect on the first swing as Ryan Waterby goes long on the cross court.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there, but a great opening pass on the Richmond side. Excellent ball control. It's a beautiful set out to the outside, and Waterby just not connecting the way he wanted to.
Josh Cosgrove back at the service line for Gorse. As quick middle tried to get set up. Oratoye dug up, but over for Leeds. They controlled the rally, and second time through the middle. Abdu Giama with the kill.
Huge from Leeds there. That's a lot of height advantage they got through the middle. Plenty of stretch, going over the top of the block and putting down a ball just behind the 3-meter line.
A lovely pass to Sampson. Back sets Conte from the 10. Beautiful swing, left hand. Again, change up the angle, but you can just see there just the raw athleticism.
Yeah, we talked about how explosive and athletic Conte is, and that is exactly what we expect to see him throughout this match.
As Dan Samsung gets done by the line monster of the Tower Flex floor. Foot fault called by the line judge, and it's a 3-1 Leeds lead. Not the first, not the last to do that.
No, definitely not. It seems to be a habit, especially with the younger male players. They take really long steps, and there's a reasonable amount of space. But
it was a habit in the Super League, the National Men's Cup final yesterday, as Conte goes up and over. As one of the more experienced players, Daniil Povarenko, had 3 foot faults in that final, so can happen to anyone at any time. But again, Conte exploding.
I mean, when you've got somebody that's that tall and jumping that high, how are you really going to stop them?
And that's the challenge for Richmond, but also a challenge there for Waterby to get the serve over the net. He goes halfway up. And now Abdul Jima into the net. That one thought about it for a brief second, but a tad low on the tape. Never really going to get that roll unless it was brute force. And sadly for Leeds, Nelson Ranga sitting on the bench, not able to play under-18 volleyball.
Yeah, I'm sure they're missing him out there, but we have seen those tape tricklers go either way.
As that one just creeps long down the line. Great idea, though, by Jack Shorting, one of the few that hasn't played in the Super League this season, but really understanding the angle there, saw that at least the line was given.
There's not much of it left with the way that that block closed down, but the opportunity was there, just a little wide that time.
That one up into the air. And leaning back, that's a really nice swing. Max Mikowski, not on balance at all, Jess, but able to find the winner.
Yeah, Mikowski playing lib in the regular season for the Super League squad. Seeing him here in the outside is exciting for him, but a good off-balance swing to keep his team in the, at least tied up with this Richmond squad.
As that one bumped up by Sampson, so out of system, Richmond. Conte hangs in the air. Pete Mikowski asking the back row to step in, but Jelani Conte had no right to get that over. He was in the air way earlier than he wanted to be.
Yeah, he was well ahead of that ball, but it was just the amount of distance he gets himself off the floor and the reach of that arm to be able to put something in. But on the flip side, that arm was up for a long time. Want to see your backcourt moving at that ball.
Mikowski goes in and through the block of Harrison and Sampson.
Yeah, and you can see Mikowski there, seeing that the block hasn't fully closed, knowing that he's got an angle there, not even bothering to aim for the court, just going for that block out kill.
There's that one well handled, another perfect pass, and this time, right idea again. Hussein saw the gap, but just pulled a little bit too much. And Jess, both these teams are playing a high level. It's been a bit of a tricky warm-up. With the delayed start, they had to be ready for the 4 o'clock start in case things kind of disappeared. And this game's really extended out, and they've been hanging around for a good hour and a half, 2 hours in kit, without being able to touch a volleyball.
Yeah, it does increase the mental pressure when things like that happen. But we know that these players know how to deal with the pressure.
So it's Hussein back to serve, goes down the line and finds the baseline as Mikowski watches it go along with Parsons.
Great time to get an ace in for your team.
As that one, Parsons puts up in the air, so Leeds fully out of system. Oratorio to put an aggressive swing on, and a little block touch there as Ryan Waterby went down the line.
And this is where you find that it's so impressive the level that these young players are at, because you can see Waterby is specifically going for the high hands. To be that young and that aware is a great skill to have.
And that one, block and out. But again, not discouraging if you're Richmond for that, like starting to line up and just get a little bit of a rhythm. Obviously, these teams have played each other a lot through the under-18 series, so you've got an idea of strength, but that long term, you're going to get some kills off that type of block, as that one goes through the hands of Marjo on the back, and an ace on his first serve for Finn Chalkley-Beals, another one that's made a big development this year.
Yeah, we've seen an improvement in middle serving in general, so see that coming through in this group as well. Great stuff.
As Chalkley-Beals onto the service line goes, sharp cross court, Conte from the back, clean as a whistle, skimming the top of the net tape.
I mean, there's not a lot that you can do to stop that ball. Conte's got 2 blockers in front of them, but being a back row attacker at that moment in time gives him a little bit more space to look at what's in front of him and go around it.
As Ollie Harrison picks out Mikowski, Cosgrove, Oratoye gets unconventional, and there's going to be a whistle and a centerline violation on Dan Sampson.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate that was a good pickup and good scramble in the backcourt to try and keep that ball alive. All for nothing though.
So first full rotation through, Cosgrove back on the line at 10-9, make it 11-9 as again Waterby pushes the ball wide on the swing.
Still aiming for hands. He's just trying to graze the outside of that blocking hand on the lead side. Only missing by a couple millimeters there.
Whartonby with the roll down the line, well read by Leeds. Not the natural place to set Oratoye, but aggressive swing, recycle ball. And this time fires it into the block. Does Jack Shortling his first kill of the game.
Yeah, great swing from Shortling there to go block out down that line. Recognizing that he's in a tough position with a really solid block in front of him and just going thumb down to get some outside press on that ball.
It's 12-9, make it 13 as the libero Ray Majorjic leaves that ball, but that sails into the back corner. And Josh Cosgrove, another ace. He had a little service run to start the game, and now forces the timeout with the Leeds Gorse up 13-9. And head coach Nicholas Sampson going to talk it over with his team.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a bit of a reminder about how they want to run their serve receive, because it's that right now that they're a bit up and down with. You know, they've had some excellent passes, but once they do get that serve receive in, they know that they're up against a really tough block on the lead side, so they have to figure out smart ways around it. And it's great to aim for hands, but they've got to do it in a way that they are hitting them more efficiently. So if that means aiming more inside the court and making sure that block cover's there, or if we go with a bit of a toolbox play, throw in some tips, some rolls, do what they've got to do to keep the ball in play and give them a chance to stay in it.
So out of the timeout, 13-9 is the Gorse lead in this under-18 final. First set as Conte goes long, trying to go up and over the block. Immediately owns up to the mistake, his first error of this final.
Yeah, that timing, you can see he's really having to reach for that ball and struggling to get a good contact on it. So can't really rip it down as he snaps his wrist.
So he's got a long way to go in this rotation as well to get all the way out to that right side. As Samson goes the opposite way, Whartonby gets shut down.
I was just talking about the big block on that lead side and how Richmond can get through it. But here you can see excellent one-on-one blocking, committing to the ball rather than the player. That's perfect setup.
Jack Shorting not short on that one. And Leeds starting to roll here as Whartonby gets a block touch. Oratoye into the block. Leeds trying to keep it alive, but can't. Terrific piece of blocking there by Max Anley. Trying to close that seam.
Great link up with Dan Tansen there on that right-hand side, closing that down. You can see that out-of-system ball. That is the type of block tightness that we want to see.
As Cosgrove back set, Oratoye Whartonby there, but couldn't quite make the recyclers after the block touch.
That's a beautiful set. Really running against the grain, the direction the pass is coming. Really long push happening all the way across the court.
As that one sent upwards to outer system, Conte goes with the sharp angle roll onto the 3-meter line. Middle run by Leeds, but Richmond able to recover. And now play for their own recycle. As Whartonby again can't find the kill. He's struggled early on in this final. And that sharp cross-court angle just misses the sideline.
Love the idea here. You can see just how much they're trying to push the Richmond defense, and they're aiming for the line. And those, again, those are the types of errors that Leeds will be happy to take. Pete's on the sidelines probably, you know, yeah, that's fine, try it again.
Beautiful serve. Cosgrove scrambling. Leeds going to go long on the swing. That all was on that cross-court angled serve that moved so much. Yes, we were right behind that. That moved a good meter from left to right if you're the receiver of Oratoye in the back row.
Yeah, really tough ball. This time just long.
Yeah, less movement on that one. A little bit long as well. Some of the Boswells team or supporters ducking away on the front row of seating there on the baseline. As we get a change for Leeds. Number 6, Oliver Furnell coming in as a serving sub for Abdul Jima. And he goes short, just off the tape. Well handled. Conte has to go to the tip. Good cover by Mikowski, but the two blockers couldn't quite reset their feet in time to make that second touch.
That's a really interesting tip decision there to go at Max Mikowski, who we know has excellent defensive skill, but great to see it pay off there.
Long rally, and Mikowski attacks the high hands of the block. Gets a high five from Dad.
That is really high level volleyball IQ. He knows he's inside. He knows he has a massive block in front of him. What does he do? What can he do? Turn his body so far towards the outside that that ball has no chance but to go out.
And again, I don't think as a shot 6 months ago he probably would have done much of. But he's had to do it so much in the Super League this year that he's that experienced that he can bring it out in the final and it be natural. Has been a big implement, and why both these teams are so much better as that one just misses down the line.
Really interesting play that, to see a slide effectively, which you don't really see in the men's game.
As Mikowski doesn't move his feet to get under the ball. And Leeds have to call a timeout, 18-16 down. And that's one where you just saw the ball going long and Mikowski never adjusted his feet, and then that jump was never going to be able to do much with it.
Yeah, entirely too many errors for Leeds. 3 in the last 4 points, 5 in the last sort of 7-8 points. They're just giving it away. They were up 17-12 not that long ago. Really great comeback here from Richmond.
And again, these teams have been battle tested. The under-18 Super Series this year has been so hotly contested. You had a bad day. You were not making a final. Like, there's so many teams have been battling, so they've got used to dealing with pressure, dealing with some adversity, and that's why we're expecting this to be a thrilling contest here on National Cup final day. 10 winners, and 1 team more will be going home with silverware. As coaches point, Pete Mikowski, who points to the sky in celebration as Conte hits the net on that.
Yeah, unfortunate. It's really tough out of the timeout. You can see players had different attempts after that to see if they want to go reduce some pressure on the serve, but sometimes it comes out like that. But Leeds with the return.
As Max Mikowski follows up his England junior teammate service error with one of his own. And Abdul Hussein goes, I can do that well.
Well, we talked about how many players here have Super League experience. They've been playing a lot this season. And what have we seen a lot in the Super League, especially at Final Fours this year?
4 or 5 service errors in a row. So no pressure, Finn Chalkley Beals. Get one in play.
Nope. And now, it really feels like a Super League match.
As Ollie Harrison's going to come out, and a serving sub in for Richmond, wearing number 9, Albert Ruddick. Someone that has been in multiple finals in the past at junior level, under 15s and under 16s the last couple of years. This time, ball in play. Oratoye line nails the back corner.
That's an excellent swing from Oratoye, but all of that is off the beautiful pass. Sorry, just a a small technical issue with the replay there, but that was a great pass to set that up. And then Oratoye going straight down the line.
Back set for Samson. Conte has a long way to run round it and hits the back line. That's a terrific piece of hitting. Just watch when this set happens. Look where Conte is.
Jelani Conte starting his approach nearly from the baseline. Huge steps, closing all the way down to the 3-meter line and then putting all of that power through that ball.
But Richmond need a point or two on serve to get back in this set. Haven't been able to put much pressure on it, as that one clips the net tape and rolls onto the line.
Tough one there for Richmond. Had that not clipped the net tape, maybe it was going out, but a great kill nonetheless for Furnell.
As out of system set, Conte over the block, pipes the back line. It's Oratoye in it, and Pete Mikowski is livid with either Oratoye or Josh Cosgrove there defensively. Wanted to make an adjustment after the last swing, and again, that Leeds team not able to execute that.
No, they know that Conte can hit that angle, even though it looked like it was going long.
As Oratoye, another perfect pass. And that time, there's a stop as Hussein shuts down on the wing.
And again, if you just look at the setup of this block, huge commit. Not the biggest press that we have seen, but it was all about that twisting, angling motion in the air.
Putting it back in the direction of the court. As that one well handled again. Mikowski goes line. And Dan Sampson in one, unable to make the play. Thinking about a roll, you could just see his feet a little bit on the toes instead of on the back, and then couldn't make that adjustment.
Yeah, you've got to watch the elbow of the attacker coming at you. You could see Mikowski just drop his elbow to come in for that kind of beachy high line shot. And Richmond taking the timeout to do a little bit of extra talking over. There were some questions to the coach at the side of the court. But I think some specific direction here to Conte around block positioning.
Yeah, very possible. And obviously, you've also maybe just dropped what you want offensively again. Timeout makes Oliver Furnell think about it a little bit more as well. One side out and you get right into this set once again as the business end of the set.
The one disadvantage to taking a timeout right now means that you don't have the opportunity to take out a timeout at set point.
Yeah.
We're close, but we're not quite there. And
But I
sometimes
suppose the problem is if you lose this point, 3 down, the timeout's probably no good to you.
Yeah.
So it's backing it on, and again, all you need is one good pass, and Richmond have done a pretty solid job on the whole on the passing unit as we get a perfect 3-point pass, and we get a little block touch from the middle there. It was Finn Shortley Beals, his right hand, it flicked the fingers on the way out of court.
Excellent setting decision there.
It brings Ollie Harrison back into the front row, so a huge blocking unit now on this right-hand side. Conte and Harrison can combine together. So I wonder if you start thinking the ball's going the other way. It doesn't. And Mikowski finds the winner. That's a sensational cross-court swing.
What an angle from Mikowski. This just goes to show that even if you are an undersized outside, it doesn't matter if you have that court awareness and you can do things with your wrist motion as you're attacking the ball.
So 2 set points for Leeds Gorse. Samson, Conte front row. Little block touch, takes it away. And 1 of 2 opportunities, at least to start, for Leeds aren't there. And it will now be the 17-year-old who's going to go to the States in the summer to start his collegiate career at the service line. Takes some off. Lovely high ball by Parsons. Middle is run. Middle is connected. Finn Shortley Beals wins set number 1 for Leeds, 25-23.
Shortley Beals putting all of his anger behind that ball, absolutely annihilates it. just on or maybe right behind the 3-meter line. Excellent sharp angle from the middle.
Yeah, and a back and forth set, but really that was kind of one in the middle part of that set where Leeds kind of pulled up that 4-5 point lead and never looked back here at the David Wallace Sports Hall. Jelani Conte, 8 kills in that opening set. But what jumps out for you statistically, Jess? What are you seeing on the stat sheet through 48 points of volleyball?
I mean, it looks fairly even, all things considered. 4 service errors for each team.
Oh.
4 hitting errors for Richmond, 5 for Leeds. But I think what's going to make a difference as we move through this set is you can see towards the end of that set, the blocking on both sides is starting to adjust to their opponents. So as they continue to do that, we might see more blocking and more creative attacking have to come through. And we've already started to see that from Leeds. So the question is, can they keep that up?
Yeah, I think low error rate is super important, right? Just a combined 9 errors, so nothing in that.
Excluding service errors, yeah.
But we know both these teams go big on serving, going to make serving errors. It's been the Leeds format as we've got some sort of competition. I've got no idea what's going on, but oh, you got to spin around how many times you roll it on the dice and then make a serve. And you got to get it in. That's close.
She did it. That was good.
Yep, that wins a t-shirt. To the Boswell's players. Don't roll a 12.
Oh, it's an 11.
Close.
Oh.
Good luck.
I feel like Stan's counting faster than she's turning.
Oh, boy. What's the fine for hitting under the net at Boswell School? Quick, someone get Darren Lewis on the phone. And then one more.
Oh, we're going to have time.
Uh-oh, Cheryl. Uh-oh, Cheryl. Cheryl Manfredi de Cruz, who jumped on commentary earlier today and helped us out. So it's back-to-back cup finals for her. Definitely doesn't have to go 12. And, nearly takes out Ryan Murphy. Immediately apologises. That is a lib serving at his best. That needs. Hold on.
No. That is an English thing when you say that that's a lib serving, because I'm just going to let you know, as a reminder, in the U.S., sometimes your libero is also your serving specialist.
That was fun entertainment, though. Dizzy dummies serving.
Love it.
And now she's so confused she can't find her own water bottle. Or horn. Ah, the horn. So, set number 2 about to get underway here in Loughborough. Under 18 Men's National Cup Final. Leeds Gorse taking set number 1, 25-23 over Richmond. As Pete Mikowski having a quick chat with the referees. It looks like both teams unchanged for set number 2. So Jelani Conte are back on the service line. 8 kills in that opening set. And now can he do some damage from the service line? Left-handed, goes down the line well. Played by Parsons, a middle attempt. Conte goes from 5-1. And that one into the block is going to be a scramble. And Leeds still have possession of the volleyball, and that one just misses the sideline.
So close to being in on that ball. That's a great swing. Excellent, though, from Oratorier to try and get something on that ball. But hats off to Dylan Parsons for that incredible block coverage, keeping Leeds in that point.
As that one just creeps over the line. Pete Mikowski probably uttering words something like "ball don't lie."
Either that or he's trying to come down from the mini heart attack that he had from Max leaving that ball at the very last second, because it wasn't really long.
As Samson has to lower himself to set up the middle. Haven't seen Richmond make many middle attacks in that opening set, but Ollie Harrison able to convert.
I mean, we saw this last year when Richmond played, can't remember if it was under 16 or under 18 boys, but when they got their middles more involved, they became much more effective. They need to spread their offense out.
That's a great serve down the line. That's going to be an overpass, and Watnabe able to rise up, have the patience to not go too early.
Great heads-up play going for that position just behind the setter as well, where you're not likely to have a defender be able to get to that ball.
That one put right into the corner. Beautiful by Jack Shorting.
Shorting showing there that it doesn't have to be power every single time. Placement is just as important.
As Samson again not needing to move much on the pass, but Watnabe misses long.
Yeah, open net on that particular swing. I think hungry eyes, as it were, leads to not so great of a swing.
As Oratore can't get that one over the tape. And Richmond still have a narrow lead, 4-3 here in set number 2. As Harrison down the line. Middle again. Conte makes a lifty type of second touch. Either way, over and wide of the antenna.
Great swing, though, to come in, but all of that off of a perfect pass from Oratoye.
And that was what we said at the top of the broadcast, right? This Leeds team are so hard to crack and put service pressure on. As this time the roll over the top of the block. Cosgrove airs out of system for Leeds. Samson has no other options, can only go out wide. Both teams scrambling for that one. Conte has to go bump because he's back row and then steps over the line on his follow through. That's a centre line violation.
Ooh, that looked very close. As a reminder for those
close to his entire foot going over the line?
Well, the rule is you are only called if your entire foot does go over the line. If any part of your foot is still in contact with the center line, it is not a center line violation. Only exception being if you were interfering with your opponent's play. And that was...
Abdul Jima gets that all levels of wrong.
Potentially why we saw that serving substitution in the last set.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can say as a coach about that. Nelson Moranga's maybe saying height, that would help. I mean, we did have one that joined us in the commentary box earlier, which is far too high over the court and a very impressive serve.
Yeah, that was an interesting moment. If you didn't catch the stream, do go back and watch that game.
Oh, no, that's getting clipped for socials.
Well, yeah, but also go back and watch that game because that was an incredible match.
Yes. Men's Shield final, a 5-set all-time classic as Conte clutches the net tape. That takes it over the block, and it still drops in inside the side line.
Yeah, really tough here for Leeds to try and get that block up, and the timing right against Conte, because again, he's jumping so high, you almost have to hesitate on your block that extra half a second.
As Cosgrove sets the middle, no one there to really contest the swing.
No.
Max Anley gonna make no mistake on that, but again, not much of a block there.
No, not particularly. The block gets drawn off to the right-hand side, leaves that bit of open space in the middle. Well taken advantage of.
Conte into the net.
And this is something that we might see some of. You know, you're going to have errors from these players because they are being really aggressive. You mentioned about being aggressive on serve, and that's driving service errors, but you'll see the same thing at the net.
As Hussein overset by Samson, and Ryan Murphy told to hit the buzzer, and that means time out Richmond. 30 seconds to talk it over for Nicholas Samson and his coaching team, as Leeds have a 3-point lead here in set number 2.
Yeah, great start for Leeds. Well, great positioning now for Leeds. It started out really close up until just a couple of moments ago, but 2 errors from this Richmond side mean that they want to press the buzzer, talk it over, and try and have a bit of a mental reset. Mental aspect is so important for these players. You want them to not be scared to hit the ball, and actually I saw Elaine Brown say that to the under-18 Leeds girls earlier. I don't want you to be afraid to play the ball. And this will be the same sort of message that the coaches are giving their teams right now. We don't want you to be afraid. We still want you to be aggressive, but you have to be smart with your aggression.
And the question is, where can you get some more kills from? Because Jelani Conte, as good as he is, going to need some support. They've not been able to really establish the middle yet in this game. So the question is, can someone else step up? As Hussein hangs, fires. Much better by Dan Samson. Perfect ball out of the timeout.
Yeah, I like him going back to Hussein after the error was driven by an overset from him on the previous point. But why don't they go to the middle? That's a great pass. They have space. They have time to go use that middle, get them locked in. Like you said, spread things out so Jelani Conte is not getting the majority of the swings.
And we're going to get called for a rotation error. Pete Mikowski's the one going up to the referee, not the captain. And Ignacio Diaz being asked to check something. Is it a second referee mistake, or is it a... And Pete Mikowski now getting the explanation. Doesn't appear to like it. Oh, Leeds were in the wrong rotation. Leeds were in 3 and they were meant to be in 4. So it wasn't just one player out of rotation, it was half the team.
Yep.
Great spot by the official. That's not an easy thing to get right when all the team's out of position. Apologies, we had a complete loss of stream. We should be back. Had a complete loss of stream. We should be back. A couple of points either way. Leeds winning the last one to tie us up at 9 points apiece.
Yeah, that last one called as a lift on Jelani Conte as he was trying to make a defensive play.
As Chalkley Beals, Hussein pushes it wide of the court and has to give up the free ball. As middle again for Leeds. Guillaume able to make the adjustment.
And this is the difference between the two sides right now. Leeds are doing a really good job of spreading out that offense, using all of their attacking options. Richmond very pen heavy at the moment. They need to figure out a way to get those middles into the match. Really smart push tip there from Jelani Conte in a tough position. That ball's falling inside, not as high as he wants it to be. Use the positioning of the block to his advantage.
So Richmond trailing by 1. First full rotation done in set number 2. And Hussein gets the shutdown block on this side, right in front of us.
Yeah, I mentioned between the sets that we were starting to see the blockers getting a better read on their opponents. Excellent one-on-one execution there.
You see how early he lifted for that one. He was in the air almost the moment the ball left Josh Cosgrove's hand on the set. As Oratoye squeezes it through. Samson again going early. And Oratoye made to make the small adjustment of that right hand, flicking it off the block.
Yeah, small. And then you can see Samson knows what's coming, tries to, attack it in turn, almost like hit it straight back, but doesn't quite get that contact. That's a really good play, but the wisdom by both of those players there.
As Wartnaby steps in front of his libero to take the ball, and Hussein on the cross court finds the winner.
Great swing from Hussein. I think that ball was going to go wide, but if you're not sure as a player, always play the ball. If you're not sure where it's going to go, it's in.
This time down the line, Oratoye gets it back, goes sharp cut, but too much on that one.
I mean, is he trying to see just how close to the net he can attack the ball and still get it in? Do they have some sort of bet going on off the court? Crazy angle.
Problem is, you need to angle it a little bit more in the favour of Safers. Again, the middle's there, but Ollie Harrison meets in the middle and has his first monster block of the game. Excellent. On Gima, and we'll see that one again as Pete Mikowski uses a timeout.
You can see the commit here from Harrison. He knows where this ball's going. Perfect timing. Excellent press as well, as Richmond are now in the lead by 2 points. Pete Mikowski, animated as ever, as he speaks to his team in the timeout. A few words of wisdom as well from Nelson Morenga.
As both teams heading back out onto court after the 30-second timeout. Well, you might not see me much because I didn't look anymore.
Oh, a mishandle there. So it's going to be a rolling shot for Richmond.
Harrison, beautiful. And that's what Richmond needed. They needed a spark from somewhere. We said, can you get the middles involved? Well, Ollie Harrison should be your second biggest outlet in this game. And now he's starting to come out to him straight out the timeout as well, having had the big block. Really smart decision by Dan Sampson. As that one goes short on the angle, but a little bit too wide. But again, you can see the intent. Changing up the angles, really making the depth of the service important as well. Because you can see a lot of them are pushing back, and now they're trying to open up some of those shorter seams.
Exactly, and sometimes either a ball that's coming straight as it can come direct at you from the server, or really cross court. Those are your hardest ones to pass. You're going to have
as a centerline violation on Wartnaby as he completed his swing action, or in fact, you can call it on Harrison.
Tough one, just landing down from the block, turning to go, and just stepped over the line.
As Conte has to set from one. That's tight, and Mikowski goes for the old block out. Beautiful decision by Max Mikowski. A little bit of beach in that.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of spin on that ball to get it going out. He's got a triple block in front of him because it's an out-of-system play. There's only one place for that ball to get to. So smart. But that press from Richmond just needs to be headed in towards position 6.
Conte into the block. Lovely high ball. Has to go with the tip. And Wartnaby tries to make a swiping play for the kill on the block action, instead gets it wrong and doesn't get it over. It's one of those, you probably are better just going with two hands than one.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to direct it. It doesn't have to be straight down. It doesn't have to be you're going for the highlight reel every single time you play the ball. You have to have that intelligence. That drives Richmond to take their second timeout of this set. We're at 16-15. Leeds have made their way back into the lead. Lots of up and downs in this set, but early call on a second timeout here.
Yeah, the Leeds game plan's been rock solid. Pass the ball well, and then from there, be able to spread the ball. Establish the middle, yes, but able to move the ball in and out a little bit, get both pins going on a few more one-on-ones. but it's all come from ball control. Richmond right now are struggling to understand how they can attack the Leeds block. Leeds are just outthinking them a little bit.
Yeah, there's been excellent passing on the Leeds side, but Cosgrove's setting selections have been really effective.
As Parsons steps under that one. Mikowski, given line, gets line, and gets the kill, and a 2-point Leeds lead.
Yeah, Mikowski using every ounce of experience that he has to hit around, over the top of, into the block, but out. Every time he goes up, we're seeing something slightly different from him.
As this time Conte with the left hand has to just tip the ball over. Middle pipe run. And again, really good by Leeds to go to the pipe with the middle as an option as well. Really just distracting the block.
Yeah, again, it's that setting selection that we're seeing. And you can see Dan Sampson on the Richmond side waited until the very last second to show that he was going to set Conte. But I think he's still dropping his hands a little too much. It's still a little too obvious.
If it was a right-handed hitter, that would have been a perfect swing, as Harrison has to go with the left hand. Cheeky by Mikowski. Harrison setting. And going to be a violation on Leeds for, I think, a net touch, as he peeled off the blocking action, caught the net.
Tough one, but it does happen. We're going to have a serving substitution here for Richmond. Same that we saw in the last set.
It's number 9 into the game for Richmond, Albert Ruddick. And he'll head back to 5. So he, again, choosing to go line. Oratori's been so good in serve reception. And Mikowski squeezes it through the block.
And again, you see, like I said, every time he goes up, you're getting something slightly different. That time going power, because you can see that Dan Sampson's arms haven't closed for the block. He's still got space. Gets him on the head. That almost gives enough height for Conte to get that in the backcourt, but not quite.
As that one, setting sub is reversed, and Leeds are going to make a serving sub of their own. As Oliver Furnell checking in.
I think after the last service run of Gimma, service run is probably not the right wording, but
yeah. As that one into the block, good pickup by Cosgrove. Leeds out of system. Oratory bump set isn't effective, but again attacking Samsung as Conte misconnects. And Leeds all of a sudden have a 4-point lead in set number 2.
Really tough time for your outlet hitter to go off the boil as Conte puts that ball well long of the baseline.
And Conte's not done a lot in set number 2. As Hussein Wartnaby bails his teammate out, but Leeds get another free ball. As that one way inside, Mikowski get it sent back. Samson waits. Can't find enough downward pressure for the kill. And Mikowski stays with it and gets the block out. That's frustrating if you're Richmond. Pete Mikowski loving it.
I love the sumo squat on the sideline. The point, that's some great block coverage on the lead side and some great heads-up play. Beautiful sets as well by Oratorie.
As that one again misplayed by Richmond, sent over the baseline, and Leeds are rampant. Six-point lead, and for all love and money, it looks like a 2-0 lead here in the Under-18 National Cup final on Championship weekend. As Conte, massive play by Oratoye, and Mikowski gets the winner.
That
all
is
about defense, though.
Absolutely beautiful defense. Really high out of system set. That block is not fully set up there, but that defense from Oratorie.
Michael Lee, A libero for the Leeds Super League team on the bench would have been delighted with that one. As that is running to the block, the middle, trying to run distraction technique, but it doesn't work.
Great blocking awareness here on the Leeds side. Some really good block coverage on that first one from Richmond, but second one, libero is just not quite back into position, ready for that one.
As Jack Shorting with it, 8 set points Leeds, make it 7 as Conte gets 1 to go.
Huge swing from Conte there. That brings him into the front row, so this is a good rotation for Richmond.
Problem is it needs to be an outstanding rotation.
A flawless rotation.
As that helps.
Good start here.
Ace for Richmond. Off the server, Dan Samsung. Rare mistake by Dylan Parsons, who's been really good in this final. Pete McCausey's got 2 timeouts left, so uses the first. In fact, no, that is his second. But stops the run early.
Yeah, he used his first timeout when Richmond were up by 2. It was 12-14 early on. But now at 24-18, despite the fact that Leeds are in the driving seat from a scoring perspective, I think this now is more about slowing down any momentum that Richmond might be looking to gain ahead of the start of set 3.
Yeah, just a third kill of the set a couple of points ago for Conte.
Yeah, very quiet in this second set. But again, that passing on the Richmond side, giving them a real challenge. They've been sending over a lot of free balls Leeds way.
So Dan Samsung, 2 saved. Can you find 6 more? As Parsons makes the correction. Beautiful ball. Low set for Chalkley Beals, but it's an overpass. And Samsung sets Conte, who makes the mistake. Pushes it over the baseline. And Leeds scores off the back of 11 kills and just 1. Sorry, of 11 kills in set number 2. Take it 25-18. But really it's the adjustment on the serve. Yes, they put a bunch of pressure on. And we know Leeds are a high error team from the service line, but just 1 error in that second set.
Yeah, 1 service error on the serve side. Only 1 ace in this set. They did have 2 in the first, but the consistency of the serve and the number of times that there hasn't been an ace, but Richmond have sent back a free ball off of the serve is a testament to the fact that they are keeping the pressure on.
Uh-oh. Another T-shirt won. One of the Richmond juniors. Only had 5 on the dice, though. I'd almost call that cheating.
All right, Michael. You going to go down there and do it? You want JC to go down there and do it? Off you go, JC.
7. There's definitely some dodgy counting going on.
Oh, another T-shirt.
Yep.
Giving them away. Love to see it, though. It's always exciting to get the fans involved.
Oh, is Mark Perkins doing it? Uh-oh.
Oh, excellent.
This is slightly off camera. Oh. Uh-oh, they're doing it together. This could be carnage. Bottom of your screen, Mark Perkins and Stan. Don't roll a big number.
5 and 4. Let's go.
9. 1,
2,
2,
3, 4, 5.
They're going at different speeds.
Stan,
that
I think,
doesn't help.
I think Mark's done more than 5. And they both. Oh! In. Mark asking for an ace from the DJ in the building.
Technically there was 2 aces. The Leeds players were already on court.
Exactly. Nobody tried to pass that ball. But they did very kindly act as a line judge and let us know that both of those bowls were in as we are about to see the start of set number 3 here.
So, have Richmond got a way to roll the dice? What is in the coaching staff? So there's a conversation currently happening below us with Nicholas Sampson, with someone. So I wonder if he's saying he's going to keep this but be ready for an early pull if we need to. Or in fact, no, it's a setter change. Good spot. Just Albert Ruddick's going to come in for Dan Sampson. So for Richmond, it is Ruddick, Maruju, Anley, Wartnaby, Hussain and Conte in a must-win set, or they'll head back down to London empty-handed for Leeds. Unsurprisingly, no changes. As the referee's just confirming who the captain is with Sampson off the court. So, Oratoye, Gima, Shorting in the front row for Leeds. No blocking that one, as Mikowski joined by Cosgrove.
An immediate change here as we start with a beautiful pass off that first serve. And we see that the middles get established here for Richmond, which we haven't seen a lot of. If they can change that from an offensive standpoint, I think we can see this going the distance, although a service error is not going to help. Yeah,
Dylan Parsons, the other Leeds player on the court to start set number 3. Early call of out by him. As that one overpass, and the way Leeds are playing, you don't need invitations for 3 points. Shorting that with it.
Yeah, Shorting well watching that ball. That set just going a bit over, but another good service reception here from Richmond.
That's a great pickup off the net tape. Wartnaby gets the high hand, block out.
And it looks like Richmond have had some life breathed into them over the break between sets, as they come in a lot more aggressive at the start of this set.
If you are nervous, if you are stressed, like, this is a stress-free situation now. Like, you just got to go for broke, take some risks. So sometimes that frees you up, as off the block of Anley, agonizingly out of the reach of the back row defense. A couple of them chasing after it.
Yeah, this is a tough call. You want to set your defense up in the way that they're going to touch most balls, and that was a huge containing block touch there from Anley, but with the 6th player a little bit short, tough to get to.
And Abdul Gima with another service error. As that one pushed into Parsons down the line, a little bit flat, but it doesn't matter, as Shorting hammers that one on the angle, beats the dig attempt.
Huge swing from Shorting there, taking full advantage of the fact that he's got a one-on-one situation and loads of cross-court space to work with, and beating Ruddick in the defense.
As Ruddick, Conte dug up by Shorting. Mikowski, Ruddick doesn't quite handle that one. Out of system set. Great job, and Leeds can't do it. That's all by Ray Marujo. Jess, that's such a beautiful out of system lip set.
Yeah, exactly what you want to see from your libero. You want to give your player enough space to be able to see what's coming in front of them, because the ball's coming from kind of behind their shoulder. But keep it from being so high that the block has enough time to really get set up on them. And that is
one
an
hits
ace.
the line. Pete Mikowski furious with the line judge. Having a go at the commissioner as well. Charlie Hedgecock, he'll be lucky not to get carded. As Parsons, great scramble by Josh Cosgrove to even get there to give up the free ball. And now an overset as Hussain also slipped, which didn't help the timing.
That is so unfortunate, because Parsons was, sorry, not Parsons, excuse me. Josh Cosgrove still making his way back to the net to set up a block. So there's almost an open net out on the outside for Hussein.
As Harrison and Conte combine to give up the free ball. Out to this side as Oratoye gets blocked, but that ball by Ruddick goes agonizingly wide. It somehow avoided Oratoye as well on the way down. That could have very easily just landed off the back.
Yeah, he did well to collapse himself down enough to get that ball to go over his head.
Hussein goes line, shorting there. And Oratoye tips it over Conte. And Ryan Wartnaby can't chase that one down.
Yeah, we'll see them have a really brief discussion to say, Conte's just asking, should I have tried to take that ball?
Probably.
And I think the answer there was yes,
not
because
close
it's coming with some pace.
But it's also not close enough to the 3 meter line that he can't play it. It's a long cover. That's a massive dig by Mikowski. Oratoye finds Marujo. Both teams playing great defense, but Conte, second time of asking, gets the winner.
2 big swings from Conte and finishing it off with a kill. But yes, incredible defense on that first one and well watched by Cosgrove to be able to play that ball out of the net.
And we will validly point out the score is 7-6 to Leeds. As Oratoye steps in front of Parsons, gets it back, and it gets the winner.
Some confusion on the Richmond side.
No, because there's no real celebration.
I think there was just some confusion on what exactly happened more than anything else, but it did go down the front of Wartnaby.
Yeah. It went vertically, just
Yep.
the wrong side of the net if you're a Richmond fan, as that one well judged. Ray Marujo ducking out the way of that one.
Yeah, interesting for Marujo. You can see him, he's got his platform set, and he's just almost doing one of those, I'm going to be silly.
And a change for Richmond as Anley's going to come out of the middle and they're going to go to Levi Sue. A little bit longer, a little bit taller. So potentially just maybe going more for blocking in this lineup. But he's got an opportunity now as Oratoye clips the fingers, and that's a nasty little one for Ruddick.
Yeah, tough ball.
Shaking his hand, referee.
Just checking,
Just doing a really good job. Just double checking he doesn't need 30 seconds just to...
But I mean, looking at the height difference between the two of those, for him to have gotten a hand to that ball from Oratoye, props.
It's a beautiful ball. And I think that was a setter dump rejection as Oratoye sends that one back.
That is so smart from Oratoye. He knows that he's just bested the setter on the attack. The setter's trying to get one back on him. And so well watched to be able to block that ball.
Ruddick back set, Conte rejected by Guima. That's a beautiful patience to delay the jump and then elevates high, presses and sends that one back to the Richmond side. And all of a sudden, as they've done in all 3 sets, the midway point of the set is really where Leeds have started to put their foot on the pedal as they close in on an under-18 national title. And one less point to do it as Cosgrove halfway up the net on that one.
Yeah, we talked about acceptable service errors, and I'm going to go with halfway up the net. It's not one of those.
Especially on a bit more of a floaty serve. As Parsons. Oratoye!
Wow. There is no stopping that. Absolutely no stopping that.
Just watch the movement.
Watch the height.
But where he comes from one.
Yeah. Because they're coming in and running a stack play.
Stack through
I
the
love
middle.
seeing this more in the men's game. I want to see it more. Super League teams, watch this. Get it going.
As Conte goes for the high hand, beautiful shot.
Absolutely cool as you like as he went up. He knew what he was doing. He never showed anything other than a tip coming. So hard, though, as a blocker to defend against that. Your only option really is to pull your hands.
So 3-point Leeds lead. They need to continue passing well. It's not the best, but the swing from Shorting definitely is. Finds the gap and hits the line, well, just inside the line for the winner. And maybe one of the least known players on this Leeds under-18 roster, but he's had a terrific game.
He has played exceptionally well, coming in with some really key moments, a couple of good block touches, and some excellent swings. Great angles from the Leeds side overall.
As a little bit of late buzzer press for Richmond, so they don't get the timeout. Bump set for Conte. That's going to be a tight ball, and right into the hitting, well, almost the blocking arc of Levi Sue, and he will put the ball down on the overpass.
There was some momentary hesitation about who actually was the server, but he does head back to the service line.
As that one goes into the net by the middle. His first serve of the day unsuccessful.
Yeah.
As a sub now coming for Leeds. As number 5, Essay. Malubran will check in for serving duties, replacing Jack Shorting. And he floats one over the net. Well played. Harrison doesn't get the greatest connection. Parson with a great touch. But free ball that Conte calls for goes away from him. And Hussein gets denied. Josh Cosgrove there on it.
Huge block here from the setter. Again, Leeds have the number of this Richmond offense. They almost know where the ball is going as it's leaving the setter's hands.
But interesting. I'd love to see that a second or third time. Look where Max Mikowski peeled off the block on the right side going against Conte. He ended up almost in one as Conte demolishes that one.
And in those moments, you're absolutely not stopping Conte. He's over the top of that block. He's got the advantage. There's a little bit of space as we are going to see Dan Sampson make his way back onto the court in place of Ruddock.
So setter change that started this set effectively reversed. And it's now or never if you're Richmond. 10 points away from defeat as Harrison gets a big touch. Great defense by Conte. Puts it back and nearly no one there from Leeds. But this Leeds team have been so effective. Scramble play, winner, doesn't matter.
Huge dig from Conte. Almost gets a kill off of that dig, but Max Mikowski between the blocker and the antenna, but still hitting a cross-court ball.
But the ability to go from the block and the scramble situation to be able to be an available option to put a swing on the ball as well. Such an intelligent move as Hussein squeezes it over the net tape.
And I feel like that one's more luck than anything else because there's no specific decision-making behind that swing. It just so happens to go between and kind of between the blockers and the net and between the two blockers. So, staying a bit lucky on that one.
And now a rotation error by Leeds.
Is this the same rotation as last time?
No, different players.
It's different players, but it is the same rotation that threw them off in the last set.
Yep. But obviously different players, so Ignacio Diaz right on it again. Really good officiating. No arguments from Leeds, which always helps. So freebie for Richmond. They will certainly take that. As Cosgrove has to come short. Oratoye is blocked by Harrison.
Great from Harrison here. Good positioning. Turns himself in towards the court. Still looks a little nervy as it heads its way towards the line, but you can see that they are starting to push more in towards 6.
Second block kill of the game for Harrison, who's he's only had 4 points in this final. As Oratoye goes line, easy as you like.
Entirely too much line available to him as Dan Sampson set up almost a whole meter inside from the antenna.
As that one high out of system, Conte still going to be aggressive. Leeds scrambling, but into the hitting arc of Oratoye. He beats Harrison. And Marujo trying to get there, can't make the pancake.
And again, we see what is nearly an amazing piece of defensive work, but Leeds just coming in, looking and deciding exactly where they want to swing at before they attack the ball. As service error does let off a little bit of pressure for Richmond. Just Chalkley Beals puts that one into the net.
It's about here and now, or here and now you have to go, Richmond. As that one is not. Who's captain? I thought that also was a net touch on the swing.
Referee says no.
Nope.
So that goes down as a kill for Josh Cosgrove.
It felt like it had to be a net touch of how tight the ball was, but maybe it was the ball that was making the net move.
I do think that the ball hit the net. Really tough to say from our angle. We have no way of knowing.
Nope. As back set, Conte, that was going long, but Mikowski there on the dig. Little bit of confusion as Cosgrove and Parsons get in each other's way. A rare communication error by Leeds.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, Cosgrove's already there because he saw that that ball was going to be really out of system as soon as the contact was made. But between your setter and your libero, if your setter's not going to get there and be able to put hands on the ball, you probably just want your libero to set that.
Cosgrove, little high roll shot, able to pick it out with Samson, but it's out of system. Conte splits the block. Pete Mikowski not happy. There's no coordination of the three blockers on that one.
No, Oratoye is, half a meter away from his teammate.
And the other block had a gap in it as well.
Yeah.
Could have parked a London bus in there.
Just 3 different players standing at the net.
Oratoye line, that's a great dig. Samson trying to keep it alive, gets it over on touch free. But Oratoye has an empty net, and, well, nearly empty net, but that was a great piece of coverage by Levi Sue to get a hand to it.
Yeah.
I'd already called the winner. Instead, a Richmond hand from nowhere came out.
Yeah. A little bit of an advantage because that one clipped the tape, so it gave them just a little bit of a slowdown here.
So Gorse 5 points away. Samson, Conte blocked. Hussein with a ridiculous pickup, but Leeds earn the free ball. Mikowski, block of his own, is going to get it back on the recycle. That's coming back on the Richmond side. Max Mikowski, beautiful awareness. He's turned some really difficult shots today into something that looks easy.
He did, and I mean, that's a prime example. He's got one set. He just has enough time to take, a 2-step back to get in. He's not got a full approach there. Still goes full power and actually puts it down.
Conte misses baseline, screams in frustration. Great chance for Jelani Conte twice. He's got good front court attacking angles and not being able to find the tower flex floor. And Richmond going to use their first timeout of this set, but is it too little too late for this Richmond team trailing by 5 in a must-win set?
Yeah, really tough to come back from this right now, but Leeds just doing an excellent job of controlling things at the net. Richmond really struggling. Yes, they've had a couple of blocks, but it's mostly been Harrison that's up there. But Leeds with the full toolbox on display in this match.
As our competition tournament director may have forgotten about the location of the camera and instead wanted some screen time. As Oratoye 3 points away from the championship. Good serve, tries to make the dig, but that one not able to be contained.
And this is what Richmond are capable of when they have the pass in. That is an excellent swing from Watanabe there, but all of that drives off of the perfect reception. Dime of a pass.
As Conte hits the back line on that one. Parsons just creeped up a little bit, maybe thinking about the roll shot, and got punished for it. So Richmond not going down without the fight. 22-19. As Pete Mikowski paces the sideline. As Leeds, I think, wanted to run the middle, but the ball there before the attacking option, and they get punished for it. As Adil Hussein with the winner.
I mean, what an interesting moment as Leeds now call a timeout. Hussein almost mishitting that ball directly onto the net tape, brushes the blocker on its way out to give Richmond a point to put them into the 20s. Only 2 points down now from Leeds.
Indeed, and that was definitely a design middle play there for Furnell, but he wasn't there when the ball was.
Yeah, but that free ball, I mean, it's great to see Richmond punishing the free ball. We talk about that a lot. It's one of those opportunities. A free ball is called a free ball for a specific reason. You have to close that down, have to take advantage.
So, good service run is ended by the coach's point. Pete Mikowski, point number 2 of the day.
Yes, indeed.
As Ryan Watanabe into the net, that's very possibly his serving day done. Unless Richmond can play perfect volleyball. As that one may be going long. Hussein plays it anyway, gets it back, splits the block, and Mikowski can't get there, along with Furnell trying to chase.
Again, I'm going to say this is more luck for Hussein than anything else. There's a triple block in front of him, and he's hitting right into the middle of it.
So Leeds scrambling, Mikowski going for high hands, gets it of Jelani Conte, Max Mikowski. Almost like a punch to the ball. It was a pokey, effectively.
Yep.
And Leeds Gorse bring up 3 championship points.
Mental strength time. Can Richmond play flawlessly, or can Leeds close it out straight away?
Shorting on the serve. Conte rebounded Harrison. That's scrambled. Mikowski
Can't
can't quite get the winner.
As that just touched the foot of Mikowski on its way down off the block. Blink and you miss it. The line judge called it out.
Yeah.
But great shutdown as Harrison and Sampson connected there. Or excuse me, it was Conte.
It's Conte back in one, so if he misses the serve, and the Leeds Gorse win another under 18 title. They run to the middle and celebrate a terrific championship performance here in Loughborough. 25-23, 25-18, 25-22, and they are the deserving under 18 champions.
Massive performance from Leeds, absolutely dominating at the net all throughout that match. Really doing a great job of closing things down, being creative with their shot selection, and utilizing the unformed block of Richmond to their advantage.
As Richmond in the huddle, Dan Sampson leading the talk with his team before they meet at the net for handshakes. In our last final of the day, 11 games, 11 winners. It's been a terrific weekend of volleyball here in Loughborough. The sitting Bucks won the championship yesterday morning over on court number 2 to defend their title. And then 10 more winners across the weekend, across all the age groups. And Jess, it's been a terrific weekend of volleyball.
Yeah, it really has, and today really delivered as well with that men's shield final, as we saw Dark Star Derbyshire defeat Legends Oldham in a 5-set thriller. But great weekend of volleyball, 11 matches, and 10 gold medals given out so far, 10 team sets of gold medals, I should say. One to be given out here in the next few moments' time. And we'll find out as well who our match MVP is. Yeah, we're going to take a very quick break. We're going to head downstairs because we want to be down there, and we'll get some post-game reaction as well. We'll be back in a couple of minutes as the Leeds Gorse, your under-18 national champions.
Guys, they left me the mic again. JC, just here to say a huge thank you to everyone that has come along. Mike and Jess will be down courtside in a minute or two, but I just want to give a massive shout out to the arguably hundreds of people that have been involved in this weekend. Everything from the 70th anniversary NVL Awards, with Beth doing an amazing job with that, annual awards, 11 finals, 22 teams, an amazing, amazing weekend of volleyball. Mike and Jess are just heading down to courtside with Alex Porter and Laura Alcott doing the medal presentations courtside.
So our first presentations, Giordano Miachi and Ignacio Diaz, really good job. A couple of very big rotation calls, but they were super on it and super communicative as well. You could tell the players, a couple of times they needed clarification, were right there.
Yeah, and some really great moments as well where up in the booth we might have thought that something was a lift or there might have been something a bit dodgy, but letting the game flow as much as possible, which is what we want to see.
So our runners-up medals, as presented by the new indoor performance director, Alex Porter, goes to number 22, Oliver Harrison. Number 2, Levi Sewer. Number 3, Dan Sampson. Number 5, Alex Clicks. Number 8, Eli. Number 17, Tyler Summery, been part of this Richmond side for a long time. Number 18, through the middle, really solid. Number 25, Alan Gunnerski. Number 48, Ryan Whartonby. Number 52, Adil Hussain. Number 68, Jelani Conte, going off to Cal State Northridge for his collegiate career. Number 80, Yassin El Ghadi, and of course the other libero as well for Richmond. Number 81, Craig Murajo, and then the coaching staff for Richmond, Ryan Murphy, Prejmech Sucheska, a couple of those, along with Antov Kolinov.
You mentioned how tough the road has been up to this finals, and I know it's disappointing for Richmond to have lost in 3 sets, but huge congratulations to them for making it this far.
And of course the head coach for Richmond, Nicholas Sampson, your under-18 runners-up. Richmond disappointed, Jess, they didn't play their best volleyball.
Yeah, it's always tough when you make it to the finals and you can't leave the court saying that you definitely put everything out there. But we're now going to find out about our gold medalists.
And now your under-18 champions. Number 1, Max Mikowski. Number 14, the libero, Dylan Parsons. Number 2, Josh Cosgrove. Number 3, Emmanuel Oratoye. Number 5, Gabriel Harrison. Number 5, S.A. Mulbrand, who was really effective when he came on late in the game. Number 6, Oliver Furnell. Number 9, Finn Chalkley-Beals. Number 10, Yanis Dimitropoulos. Number 11, Jack Shorting. Number 12, Abdul Giamma. Number 13, David Ackroyd. And of course the Leeds coaching staff, Pete Mikowski, Nelson Moranga, Michael Lee, along with Scott Cosgrove and Elena Brown.
Elaine Brown, Nelson Moranga, Michael Lee and Scott Cosgrove.
And great to see, obviously we know how connected this Leeds Gorse Academy is. We know Nelson Rang and Michael Lee, a big part of that, along with so many others. And that development across the season, that Super League experience is massive.
Yeah, it really is, and it's great to see the development happening. We know that some of these Leeds players might be moving on next season, and we also know about them moving their way down to Division 1 North for the next season, but I'm sure that that development will continue, and we will see some great things from them in the months to come.
Allow them to celebrate with their friends and family here. First things first, we have the MVP.
And we've got 2 more awards left of this finals weekend. We've got the team trophy, and of course we've got
the winning team, Leeds Gorse number. Let's get some crowd going.
The MVP trophy.
They call it the magic number 3.
Emmanuel Oratoye, 14 points, 13 kills. But Jess, the other thing that stood out, his serve reception was exceptional.
Yeah, and he was great in defense as well, but the ball control on the lead side of the net to be able to consistently put up every attacking option that they had all comes down to how solid they were.
And you just saw Pete Mikowski trying to make that single. He recognised that passing was so good for Leeds.
It was excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the final time this weekend, this is the Under-18 Men's Cup Final. Your winners.
And now
they are Leeds.
Max Mikowski gets the trophy and raises it into the air. Your Under-18 champions are Leeds Gorse.
Massive performance from them. Like we said, they were in control of this match, basically from the off. Managing things really well at the net, being really creative with their attacks, but to the point of our MVP as well, so solid in that serve receive and some amazing defensive work as well.
Yeah, And again, it was a total team effort. The bench players, when they came and chipped in. Max Mikowski was exceptional. Josh Cosgrove setting the seat was really solid. But they dominated and slowed down Ollie Harrison. And then after the first 8 points, Jelani Conte got slowed down as well. So Leeds really defensively responded.
Yeah, and of course, we have to mention Shorting as well, who did an excellent job.
On the fight, the man stand. Remember, if you want to watch back any of today's games or this weekend's games, wherever you go, you can like and subscribe to the England YouTube channel. There you go, Scuba, my guy, Mark Scuba.
Hopefully in a second we'll get a chat with our MVP. We'll bring him over and get his reaction. And here he is indeed, we're ready. Emmanuel, congratulations, you are the under-18 national champions. How much has this team grown over the course of the year, not just in the under-18 Super Series, but obviously your Super League experience that shone today?
Yeah, I think in Super League, being able to be comfortable in Super League has really helped us to be able to learn how to stay calm under pressure when it comes to these type of games, so yeah.
And obviously a big part of your development, we always knew about your hitting, but your passing's come on so much today. It felt like you basically didn't make an error in service, either your teammates trying to distract you, but how nice has it been to have that development and encouragement and being able to learn from so many people around the club, obviously Nelson and Mike on the lead, and of course Pete, you're coaching, that it feels like you've just started to really understand your own game.
Yeah, I think it's really the coaches and my teammates that have been pushing me to help me to be able to pass, to make not only me comfortable, but our whole team comfortable. So I think our teammates being able to push each other really helped us in this final.
And now obviously you get another off season to grow. Yeah. I know you spend a little bit of time on the beach as well with Pete and ahead of Bridlington, but how important is it for you when losing some players from this group potentially next year to university? How great is it to finish on a high?
I think it's really amazing because we can bring that spirit into next season with all the players, start with high standards and help them bring up another trophy as well. That'd be nice.
Well, I'm sure you want to go celebrate with your teammates, so we'll let you go, but congratulations on a great season.
Thank you very much.
They're the thoughts of your MVP, Emmanuel Oratoye, as Pete Mikowski is going to get in the huddle. And Jess, we're going to start wrapping up from courtside. What a weekend, 11 games, drama. National Cup, National Shield games, both going to 5. Undefeated season for Durham Platinum, so many talking points.
Yeah, so many talking points. Insane to see that the regular season Super League champions both took away the gold medal trophies. Durham closing out that completely undefeated season with their National Cup final win, and of course the 5-set thriller that we had today. Sorry, probably my favorite match of the weekend because it was incredible to watch. And again, if you haven't seen it, do go back and rewatch that on the YouTube channel.
Indeed, and as the Leeds players go to celebrate with friends and family, we've got another podcast to do Tuesday to wrap up the season. But we need to take a minute to talk about the guy that we are losing up on the balcony. He definitely won't put himself on camera.
No.
But the person that's been behind the massive push the last couple of years stream, both us, we got to work with him day in, day out on the podcast this year as well. We got a big thanks to JC upstairs.
Yeah, huge thank you to JC, who has been an integral part of this team and all of the amazing things that you see happen on the stream day in and day out. And every one of these events has been thanks to him, working tirelessly to come up with new and exciting graphics. Big nod to that Cup Finals replay graphic for this weekend.
Yeah, indeed, and obviously, again, to set through from a broadcast side is that role title has changed, and the person that's going to come in down the line to replace him, it's more about the broadcast heavy stuff, and that's because of the work JC's done. I know he's going to hate us for that, but he will truly be missed by us and broadcasting. And I know the VE team, there was a big celebration for him yesterday as well, and they even allowed him to stay in the VE photo today as well.
That was kind of them, but yeah, JC has definitely paved the way for the future of broadcast for Volleyball England. Excited to see what comes next, but wouldn't have happened without him.
Yeah, his last day is tomorrow, so make sure you drop JC a message in the comments. We know how integral he's been. But wraps it up here from Sir David Wallace. The indoor season basically complete. A couple of regional tournaments and stuff to go. Next time you'll really see a big event on the beach in Bridlington as the NEVSA and a European tour comes through, but from the entire broadcast team. And we got so many to name. The camera people this weekend, Mark and Stan, but Alex Chinnery, Cheryl Manfredi de la Cruz, Ollie Shutgrove, You, Jess. Who else have I missed? It's been a big crew this weekend.
It has been a big crew. I feel like
Chris Frost
there we go.
of the promoted
course,
team
Frosty,
Essex. But from myself, Jess, it's been a pleasure to have you all season long. We'll be back in October, give or take, hopefully,
But first,
for
catch us on
opening
the
weekend.
podcast. It will come out, I think, on Wednesday this week. So
Well, we've got to find time to do it, and after today, we might be sleeping for a while, but indeed, the Time Out
Yes.
podcast will wrap up. But from all of us here, thank you for joining this season, and congratulations to all 11 winners here at Cup Final Weekend 2026.
oh, I love the camera pan on the finish.